Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just witnessed Crypto in America sat down with Tom Shack from the Swift community. He was the former CIO at Swift. And they basically talked about why the we're replacing Swift narrative was always flawed and why the real bottleneck to tokenization isn't settlement, it's trust. After helping lead Swift's digital asset strategy, Tom is now building a new venture focused on what he believes is the industry's biggest unsolved problem: how regulated financial institutions accept and validate tokenized assets at scale. Now, again, every single time that we see Swift make a new announcement, like for an example, Swift's building a new blockchain layer. Swift's working with major banks to do this. You quickly hear XRP just got killed. XRP just got replaced. We kind of went from the narrative that Ripple and XRP were replacing Swift, which, I mean, listen, will Ripple and XRP replace Swift? I don't think that it's about that. I honestly look at Ripple and XRP as a complementary upgrade to Swift, because again, we look at complementary technology in the space, and we look at what it can accomplish and do for some of these networks or some of these antiquated rails. And Swift is an antiquated network. Regardless of how you look at it, yes, it's a dominant network, but it's an antiquated network. It needs complementary technology added to it, which is why you're starting to see Swift kind of, shift, if you will. So I do think that the whole idea of Swift getting replaced, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. But I do think that Swift, if they didn't start to adapt, they would have gotten replaced. And that's why when we look at what they just announced, which is, this Swift's blockchain ledger is ready, implemented in 9 months, global from day one. Swift's blockchain-based ledger is ready to use with ANZ, BNP Paribas, BNY, Citi, DBS Bank, First Abu Dhabi Bank, First REN, HSBC, Itaú Unibanco, Lloyds Banking Group, Mashreq, MUFG, OCBC, Standard Chartered, UBS, UOB, and Wells Fargo preparing to pilot 24/7 tokenized cross-border payments. Awesome to see. Massive banks. This is a significant step towards scaling tokenized finance powered by the standards, security, and global reach the industry relies on. By combining distributed ledger technology with Swift's secure messaging network, the ledger enhances liquidity efficiency, improves cash flow visibility, enables seamless token recognition. What's next? Well, this is the first use case. The ledger creates a foundation for future innovation in areas like programmable money and agentic commerce, and we're continuing to explore more use cases with our community, helping to take tokenized money closer to scalable real-world adoption. Now, is Swift using XRP? Yeah, guys, they're using XRP. Let's do an open-faced thumbnail and show you guys nonsense. No, Swift is not using XRP. There's no confirmation of it. There's no confirmation that they're using Ripple technology or anything like that. In fact, they're utilizing Linea. Now, does that mean that you should go and sell your XRP and go buy Linea? I don't believe so. In fact, I don't really look at what Swift's doing here as groundbreaking or game-changing. I think that a lot of these initiatives that we're seeing, especially with names like JP Morgan, for an example, JP Morgan launched a blockchain-based initiative. It was on private Ethereum technology. Guess where that went? Oh yeah, that's right. Now JP Morgan's using the public base network. That's because private initiatives like this only go so far. They're going to need to connect to public blockchains. That's why I love this approach that vet_x0 has to this, which he stated that Swift's shared ledger is a permissioned ledger used for orchestration. Thanks to Tom Shack for his innovation efforts. They are doing pilots with this in 2026. On the XRP ledger side and blockchains in general, settlement and messaging collapses into one single transaction. So Swift needs crypto more than crypto needs Swift. That should be very clear from this. They are validating the crypto thesis, though. And they are. I mean, listen, when we think about what Swift really is, Swift has never been a network that clears and settles transactions. They've always been messaging. With XRP and blockchains, they collapse all of that into place with settlement. So again, I hate the whole idea of Swift needs or XRP needs Swift in order for XRP to do this or do that. It's typically the narrative around how XRP goes to $10,000. That's when everyone's Swift is going to adopt XRP and XRP is going to go to $10,000. That's the whole narrative around that. But if you're really looking at this in a realistic view, we never really needed Swift to adopt XRP anyways. But this initiative is a permissioned approach. It definitely is. Are we going to see, settlement? Like, no, we're just going to see this, be DLT, it's blockchain initiatives. But we're seeing that Swift secure messaging network side. The settlement side of this will most likely be on Linea, which is not as efficient as like some of these other networks. But Anderson put out a great post regarding this because Tom did state back in this is actually just on the 9th realistically, but we have a reminder that Swift doesn't do settlement. It's messaging. Ripple does both messaging and settlement. And yes, they do, which is what makes Ripple's product stack way more efficient than what Swift is doing anyways. If we're really kind of playing like the competition game, like, yeah, if Ripple and Swift were competing, Ripple would win 10 times over. It just does not matter at all about the size of like Swift or not. But looking at what Chartner TA has been putting out, like, yes, there's a lot of connections back to these banks. We have here probably nothing XRP family. Swift today announced that its blockchain-based ledger is ready for initial use with 17 banks, enabling early adopter financial institutions to support 24/7 live cross-border payments with tokenized deposits. Ripple has connections to 12 of those banks, including ANZ, BNP Paribas, BNY, Citi, DBS, HSBC, MUFG, OCBC, Standard Chartered, and even Wells Fargo, as well as UBS. And yes, they do. I mean, there's so many connections back to Ripple with a lot of these banks. Do I think that confirms that, Ripple is going to be tapped in and, it's going to be, the network of choice from these banks? Like, no, I don't necessarily think that that's going to be the case. Like, if we wanted to speculate here all day, we can. We can make 100 videos about this, but in the simplest way possible, like the main thing that I take from this announcement from Swift, and I think that this is like the main thing that everyone should be looking at anyways, and there is a ton of connections that, like, even if we look at like Ripple Treasury with Swift, yes, there's a connection there. There's a connection with Absa Bank. There's a connection with Thunes, because all of these names have, or are working with, Swift. They're all interconnected rails for global settlement. And yeah, there's like a lot of connections. It does matter because there's definitely linkages back to like Swift. But the main thing that I really look at this with Swift isn't so much like, oh, that's it, XRP is about to be tapped in with Swift, and we're going to see XRP skyrocket to X amount of dollars. I think that it comes back to what Vet said. Like, we are seeing validation from the biggest name in finance. Like, Swift has been the dominant network globally for, decades. And now we're seeing them moving on chain. We're seeing them creating a full blockchain based ledger for 24/7 tokenized payments. Like, if you needed a clearer validation than this, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know where you should look, but like, we have the clearest confirmation in front of us that this really is the new financial system. Like, this is really happening. But on top of that, there is 50 banks tied back to this. This is the 17 confirmed ones so far. But this is, a massive giant. I mean, Swift handles over $150 trillion annually in payments. They are one of the most dominant names in the game. And, they have been talking about interoperability, connecting, multiple networks, because again, like, even if we think about what Swift is doing here with their permission stack, like, you're still going to need open interoperability between like the permission networks and the, public networks, or like the permissionless ones. And Chainlink is definitely like a big name tied back to this. Like, Chainlink has always been working with some of these big names. Swift is definitely one of them. Chainlink is providing like an Oracle layer where we have so many blockchains connected back to Chainlink. So you can have that interconnectivity. But I don't think that like what Swift is doing here is groundbreaking. I don't think that it's going to kill XRP. I don't think that like any of that matters, because again, like, you look beyond Swift and like, what's the biggest narrative behind Swift? It's the fact that we're seeing so many big players moving forward with their own like payments based financial systems, because again, Swift for the longest time has been a weaponized payment network that the US has utilized to sanction countries and to really kind of like force the US dollar upon. So why would all of these nations agree to utilize Swift regardless of if they have blockchain technology tied to it? They simply won't, which is why when you look at like some of the most like recent announcements, like going even back to February 18th, like UPI, which is Unified Payments Interface from Ripple, from India, which by the way has a lot of connections back to Ripple. Like, this was their digital money model. This is India's game-changing digital money model. Their real-time payment system, the world's largest, enables free transactions to all consumers and imposes negligible fees on small merchants. Now, again, like, when we look at what's happening here, like almost all of these big nations are starting to push forward on new payment systems. Like even China, right? Like China has their own payment system. Russia, it has been starting to push forward on their payment system. BRICS is starting to make incremental progress in their dollar-free trade as well from October 2nd, 2025, which, by the way, we have yet to see. Like, we know that there's that BRICS-led payment system. I don't think that's officially live yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't really kept up with it too much. But we do know that they have been really kind of pushing forward on a BRICS payment system to rival SWIFT. But also even China. Like, China opened the door to creating a direct rival to the US payment systems. That was also a recent announcement back on March 19th of this year. They really kind of opened their payment system to expand beyond yuan settlements, which a lot of people were like looking at and saying like, wow, this is actually a huge announcement. But as we really look at like what's happening here, like, yes, there's going to be so many different payment networks and systems. I don't think that SWIFT, if we're really looking at like, if we have like this big reset and this new financial system becoming a reality, like, why would we believe and why would we think that SWIFT would still retain like that main dominance in this new system? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Yes, do they still have a ton of banks tied to it? Sure, they do. But like, I feel like the use of SWIFT has been starting to die down over the years, especially even like US dollar, usage as well. And even recently, like the BIS warned that stablecoins could fragment global finance because, again, like if we think about XRP's use case here, okay, SWIFT is not going to be a bridge currency. Like, they're not going to launch a bridge currency. They're not going to launch a blockchain-based ledger that's neutral. That's the difference. Like, if we're really looking at this, like, all right, take Ripple out of the equation. Can SWIFT create an XRP equivalent? No. There is no competition to XRP. XRP is literally the best neutral bridge currency that this space has ever witnessed. So when we think about like stablecoins and fragmentation, or even what SWIFT is doing here, like SWIFT technically is launching a permissioned ledger that's going to fragment, finance even more, because you have so many other payment systems out there that are also like, if we think about on chain, there's a lot of permission, networks out there right now that make payments. JP Morgan has one. And again, like fragmentation is a huge thing. You still need interconnectivity between all of these networks. And then we also think about digital currencies and digital assets and stablecoins and all of that. That is XRP's bread and butter. So when I look at like what SWIFT is doing here, like, I don't think that this is a big concern. I don't think that SWIFT is really the biggest name in the conversation anymore. I don't even think that we need to put a lot of weight behind it. And Vet is 100% correct here. Like, SWIFT needs crypto more than crypto needs SWIFT. Like all of these big players, like banks, for an example, the banks need this technology more than we need the banks. I hate trying to like, protect the whole idea that like, oh, like we need banks, guys. Like, no, we don't. I don't know why we are sitting here saying like, oh, like, yeah, the banks are the like main ones that are going to be, the main users of these networks. Like, no, the main thing that's going to happen is you're going to have institutional adoption because they have to adopt it. Because at the end of the day, like they need this technology. Because if they don't adopt it, they will start to get replaced. Which is why you're starting to see institutional players skyrocketing into crypto adoption. Like the amount of numbers, the stats on the adoption from institutional players is insane when you look at it. But it's because they know that if they don't get behind it now, that they will start to get replaced by those that are actually jumping in, which is why you see the flood into this market. And if we're thinking about that, with institutional grade adoption comes mass adoption from retail. So we're already at that point where the space is being validated. It's being validated from the biggest names. It's being validated from 50 plus banks and the 17 confirmed ones that we have here, which are some of the biggest names in finance. I mean, you look at these names, you have, Citi, you have HSBC, you have UBS, you have Wells Fargo, you have Standard Chartered. We already know that Bank of America is on there. You also have BNY, you also have JP Morgan. There's so many big names. Like, these are the biggest names in finance that have the largest amount of capital tied back to them and also client base. And now you have them moving on chain with SWIFT. This is the clearest green light that I've ever seen that, we are marching into a new world of finance. It's no longer a game of speculation. It's no longer a game of like questioning or wondering if this is happening. No, it's clear. It is happening. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely like, subscribe, so notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, Nick, thanks for watching. Peace out, guys.